I've been digging deep in the naughty bucket. This is all the way back from, I want to say June of this year. This is from Tim Gooding in Australia. It's a challenge lock, and I tried this several times. Here's what the key looks like, but I think this is probably deceptive. It's showing 5 pins. When I try to pick it, I feel 6 of them in there. So let's see if we can. I have never gotten it open, but I feel lucky. All right, let's see if we can get it done. Tim sent me a couple of emails saying, "Hey, how you doing on that Lockwood?" So he kind of shamed me into trying this over and over. I'm going to finally get this done. I'm going to use, because it's a wide open keyway there, you can see that. I'm going to use a bottom of the keyway tensioner. That's the right size. You could even use a large. It really doesn't interfere with picking. I'm going to be picking probably from the right side here off of that ledge. Plenty of room in there. Nice wide keyway, so I can drive a thick pick in there. I want to select the thickest pick I can fit into any keyway. This is a 25 thousandths. It's a homemade. There you go. 25 thousandths in a 3D plastic. You can download those from handles from the website if you like. All right, all the way in. Here we go. Light tension. Let me zoom in just a little bit so you can see if I get any feedback. And I do on this lock. Light tension. Let's see what we can find here. Looking for a binder. I'm not sure if that's counter. Yeah, I think that's counter rotation on pin 1. Got a little click off of him. Moving to the back. I'm on 4. That was 4. I got a click off of him. And I'm having trouble getting under that last one. There are 6 pins, at least it certainly feels like it. I got a fault set, but I've had that before. There are a lot of crunchiness in here, so it's either full of Rice Krispies or we got some serrated. 3 is giving me a little bit of counter rotation. There we go. I got to click off of him. Looking for any kind of feedback now. Got to do a fault set, but it doesn't do me a bit of good if I don't get counter rotation off of something. I want to say that's a little bit of counter rotation off of 5, and I just got a very slight click. Five again, more counter rotation. And now I think I lost that fault set. Nope. Still on 5, still getting counter rotation. Very deep click. Very deep fault set now. Let me mess with 5. He's giving me such good feedback so far. I think 5 is done. Okay, I'm on 3, little counter rotation here. A lot of counter rotation here. And there we go, finally. All right. Oh, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Now that the key's off, I'll show you what it looks like. As I said, this is a 5-pin key. It's kind of what you'd expect with challenge lock, very deep stuff in the back, very high cut, hiding behind a series of very low cut ones. And the key does not. The key does not even work. I didn't even try it before. I just assumed that was, maybe that's part of the psychological warfare on this lock. It definitely does not work. Tim, man, you trying to con me? Now I got to pick this thing again in order to gut it. All right, give me a few minutes and I will try to pick it again. Good God. Oh man, I can't believe it. Twice in all these months. Of course, knowing the sequence helped a lot that second time through. All right, I'm not going to make the mistake of snapping this closed again since we know this key doesn't work, but let's go ahead and take it apart, look at the innards, and maybe I can make a key for it. I think I got some blank Lockwoods back there. All right, I always love taking these apart because there's so many ways for me to screw up on this. It's not a familiar lock to me. I think the last time I took apart one of these on camera, yeah, I screwed that one up too. But no sense in whining about it. It won't be the first time I screwed up, and I'm guarantee you it won't be the last. I'm trying not to lock this. Okay, that must come off of there. Right. There we go. So far, so good. All right, let me grab a medium follower. I think that's right. And that should be good right there. Hold your breath. Yeah, that's not working so good. There's something in cylinder 5 that's, there we go. I was going to say this grabbing for sure. Let's see if I can go back. No, it doesn't even want to go back. It's totally bound up in there. I mean, there we go. Whoa, okay. Let's find something. Let's try a different follower. Maybe one that's a little thinner. Yes, very tight tolerances in that. By the way, this is a homemade one that I undercut just a little bit by accident, and the other one is a commercial follower. All right, let's take a look. I'm already seeing a lot of threads in here. Very nasty, looks like coarse threads, not fine ones like we usually see. Okay, so pin 1 is a spool. This is a narrow, looks like narrowed on the top. We'll take a close look at these in a minute. It looked like we had a spool as a key pin. Nasty, nasty, Tim. Another spool. A very narrow spool, very thin on one end. And the last one, 6. A nasty looking homemade one. All right, looking in here, I see 5 very coarsely threaded cylinders, and I mean really coarse. I'm not like it's, and they're uneven. Like it's not done with a tap. But that's what we got. We got what we got. All right, let's grab these guys. Try to do this through the camera. Looks like a giant spool. And a steel spring. Try to do this one right. My tweezers will let go of that spring. These are not magnetized yet. Another giant spool with, that's a commercial one it looks like. And another one of these steel springs. Different one. I'm looking at that core. I can see some threads inside of the Bible there on number 2. Number 3, nothing jumped out. Maybe there's something in there. There's got to be something in there. I see a piece of a spring hanging there. See if I can dig him out of there. There's definitely a spring in there. There's a piece of it that just popped up. He doesn't want to come out. Come on out of there. Okay, I'm counting. I just straightened that spring out, but I don't see any other pin in there, guys. In number 3, there can't be anything else in there. Number 3 was just a spool. No, and the spool was a key pin, unless there's something way down in there. Nope, there's nothing. We just had a spool. All right, where'd the tweezers go? Back to 4. Pin 4 looks like the same thing. Nothing popped out. And it's just a spring. We're going to have to go in from the top when we take a look at 3 and 4. I think the springs are caught up in this, in the top of the housing. Okay, number 5. Okay, we got a big steel spool, very sharp edges. Okay, that was 5, I think. And the last one is 6. And it is another. Now we have a key pin. I didn't pay attention to which way he came out. I would be willing to bet the pointy end was pointed up towards the top of the lock. So he was probably being used as a standard. All right, we got a couple of mysteries here. We are missing some springs. Okay, he was in 5 and he was in 6. We're missing 2 springs. So let me go ahead and pop the top off this, and because I can see some threaded cylinders in there. So we're going to have to pop it off anyway. Alright, there's a missing spring stuck in the top there. He was pinched in the housing, but there's only one. We're still missing, let's see, he's on 3, we're still missing 4. It doesn't matter, you can see he's a little brass spring. And he's pretty well mangled. So he was in 3. So kind of odd. Tim, no wonder I had so much trouble with this thing. I'm amazed I got it open the second time. Alright, I'm not going to turn these. You can see this is the key pin has it's a spool, standard, and then in this one there is no key pin. In this one there is a key pin, no driver, and no spring. And in here we have a little spool. It's kind of narrowed down. Got a little serration on it. And then on the top we had a steel spool pin. And number 6 we have a homemade. He's upside down obviously, but kind of serrations on him, and a standard upside down being used as a standard pin. All of the springs look to be different, to include the missing one. Didn't fly out, and it wasn't in the lock. So kind of not fair here in terms of, yeah, lock with missing parts sometimes are impossible to pick. So if you're going to make a challenge lock, please include all the parts. By the way, this one did have a spring, and there he is after he's all stretched out. So we weren't missing a spring, but we were missing a key pin and a driver in 3 and 4. All right, fellas, there you go. Tim, thanks for the lock. I am amazed I got it open with the missing parts. Everybody else, stay safe, stay legal.